You know that feeling when someone truly gets you? When you can drop the mask, be yourself, and feel completely understood? That's the kind of connection every woman craves, but most men never create. Instead, they stay on the surface, talking about the same boring topics, trying too hard to impress, or worse, avoiding emotional depth altogether. The truth: a woman doesn't connect deeply with a man because of how much he talks, how successful he is, or how attractive he looks. She connects because of how he makes her feel. If you've ever wondered why some men effortlessly pull women into deep emotional bonds while others get stuck in shallow interactions, keep watching. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what it takes to make any woman feel an undeniable connection with you, one that she won't be able to ignore. Let's get started. Number 1. Be fully present. One of the biggest mistakes men make? Being physically there, but mentally absent. If you're distracted, checking your phone, or just waiting for your turn to talk instead of truly listening, she feels it. And when she feels unseen, unheard, and unimportant, she disconnects. Women are highly intuitive. They pick up on energy, on presence, on whether a man is truly engaged or just going through the motions. When you give her your full attention, not just hearing her words, but genuinely understanding her emotions, you create a space where she feels valued, seen, and safe. And that feeling? That's what makes her want to open up and connect deeply with you. A Stoic man understands the power of presence. He doesn't dwell on past regrets or anxiously anticipate the future. He exists fully in the moment. He listens, not to respond, but to understand. He isn't swayed by fleeting distractions because his focus is rooted in what truly matters. And because of that, when he's with a woman, she feels the depth of his attention like a steady flame in a chaotic world. That steadiness, that unshaken presence, is intoxicating. Think about it. How often do people truly listen? Most conversations are just two people waiting for their turn to speak. But if you can be the rare man who actually absorbs what she's saying, who looks into her eyes and makes her feel like she's the only person in the room, she will feel an undeniable pull toward you. Next time you're with a woman, put away distractions. Look at her, not just as someone speaking, but as someone worth understanding. Listen with curiosity, with patience. Instead of planning what to say next, feel the moment with her. Because a man who can be fully present? That's the kind of man she can't help but want to connect with. Number 2. Stay emotionally strong. A woman wants to feel safe around you, not just physically, but emotionally. If you're easily rattled by stress, jealousy, or uncertainty, she won't feel secure in your presence. Deep connection isn't built through grand gestures or smooth words. It's built on trust, stability, and the quiet confidence that no matter what happens, you remain steady. This doesn't mean ignoring your emotions or pretending they don't exist. It means mastering them. Stoicism isn't about becoming cold and detached. It's about learning to respond rather than react. When something upsets you, do you let it consume you, making her feel like she has to walk on eggshells? Or do you take a breath, pause, and approach the situation with clarity? A woman wants to connect deeply with a man who isn't ruled by impulse, who can stand firm in the face of uncertainty. Imagine this. She's having a rough day. Maybe she's overwhelmed with work, or something is bothering her, and she's venting her frustrations. She doesn't need you to fix everything for her. She needs to know you can hold space for her emotions without crumbling under the weight of them. If you react impatiently or make it about yourself, she'll feel unheard, unsupported. But if you listen, acknowledge her feelings, and remain composed, she'll feel safe opening up to you. That safety creates trust, and trust is the foundation of real emotional connection. The way you handle your own struggles says everything about you. When life throws problems your way, do you crumble, lash out, or seek validation? Or do you take a step back, remain composed, and solve the issue with a clear mind? A woman respects a man who can handle life's unpredictability without letting it shake his core. Strength isn't about shutting down emotions. It's about being in control of how you express them. Think about how powerful it is to be the kind of man who can bring peace instead of chaos, who can stand strong no matter what storm is raging around him. That kind of presence is magnetic. It makes her feel drawn to you, not just on a surface level, but in a way that makes her want to be close to you, to trust you, to connect with you on a level most men never reach. So the next time you feel your emotions rising, practice stillness. Breathe. Remind yourself that control over yourself is the only control you truly have. When you become a man who leads with composure and quiet strength, you won't have to chase deep connection. It will come to you naturally. I'd love to hear your perspective. What's one way you practice emotional resilience in your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments, or if you're short on time, just type "steady and strong" to let me know you're on this journey. Let's start a conversation. Number 3. Keep a bit of mystery. Most men spill everything too soon. They share their entire life story on the first few dates, hoping to impress or create a quick bond. But in reality, this backfires. Instead of drawing a woman closer, it makes her feel like there's nothing left to explore. She doesn't get the thrill of discovering you because you've handed everything over before she even asked. Stoicism teaches us patience, restraint, and the power of allowing things to unfold naturally. You don't need to flood someone with your thoughts and emotions to prove your worth. Think of the people you admire most. Are they the ones who overshare every detail of their life? Or are they the ones who move with quiet confidence, revealing just enough to keep you intrigued? Instead, be a man of depth. Let her learn about you over time. Attraction isn't built in a single moment. It's a slow burn, a process of revelation that keeps her engaged. This isn't about playing games or withholding who you are. It's about pacing the connection so she feels like she's uncovering something valuable, layer by layer. Think about your favorite TV show. What keeps you coming back, episode after episode? It's not just the story, it's the way it unfolds. The characters don't reveal everything at once. They evolve, they surprise, they leave you wondering what's next. A woman should feel the same way about getting to know you. She should feel like there's always more to discover, that your depth is something she wants to keep exploring. When you hold back from over-explaining yourself, when you let your actions speak louder than words, you create an aura of quiet confidence. This doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means having the self-assurance to let things develop naturally. She'll appreciate the moments of silence because they won't feel like empty space. They'll feel like anticipation, like the next chapter of a story she can't wait to read. Number 4. Challenge her mind. Attraction isn't just physical. If you want to create a deep connection, you have to engage her mind. A woman isn't drawn to a man simply because of his looks or charm. Those things may spark initial interest, but what makes her want to stay, to keep coming back, to crave your presence, is the way you make her feel when she's around you. And that starts with the kind of conversations you have. Forget small talk. If you only ask surface-level questions like, "How was your day?" or "What do you do for work?" you blend in with every other guy in her messages. She won't feel an urge to invest in the conversation because there's nothing pulling her in. But when you ask something unexpected, something that makes her pause and think, you create a moment of intrigue. Try this. What's one experience that changed the way you see the world? If you could live in any time period, which one would you choose? What's something you believe that most people disagree with? Questions like these show her that you're not just looking for idle chatter. You're inviting her into a deeper exchange, one that challenges her to reflect and reveal parts of herself she may not often share. That's where connection happens. That's when she stops seeing you as just another guy and starts feeling drawn to you on a level she can't quite explain. Stoicism teaches that wisdom and self-awareness are what set us apart. A man who embodies these principles isn't just trying to impress. He's genuinely curious about the world and the people in it. He listens with presence, without trying to control the outcome, without needing validation. And paradoxically, that makes him incredibly attractive. Because when a woman senses that you're not just filling silence with words, but truly engaged in the moment with her, she won't just enjoy talking to you. She'll start seeking those conversations out. She'll look forward to them, replaying them in her mind, wondering what it is about you that feels different. Deep connection isn't about having all the right answers. It's about asking the right questions and being the kind of man whose presence invites something real. And once she feels that, she won't want to let it go. Now take a moment to reflect. When was the last time someone truly challenged your mind in a conversation? Did it leave an impact? Imagine being that person for someone else, the one who sparks curiosity and draws them in with thought-provoking questions. That's the difference between a forgettable exchange and a lasting connection. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever asked or been asked a question that completely shifted your perspective? Drop it in the comments, or if you're short on time, just leave. Depth over small talk. Number 5. Give her space to miss you. Here's a harsh truth. If you're always available, she won't feel your absence. And if she never feels your absence, she won't desire your presence. Think about it. When something is always within reach, it's easy to overlook. Most men smother women with attention, thinking that constant presence will make her feel closer to them. But in reality, too much availability makes you predictable, ordinary, someone she doesn't have to put effort into appreciating. When there's no space to breathe, there's no space for desire to grow. Stoicism teaches us to master our emotions rather than be ruled by them. It reminds us that attachment and neediness only lead to suffering. A man who is too eager, always chasing, always responding instantly, unknowingly creates an imbalance. He gives without allowing her the chance to give back. He's so afraid of losing her that he clings, and in doing so, pushes her away. Contrast that with the man who is secure in his own life, his own path. He doesn't withdraw to manipulate. He simply has things to do, goals to chase, a life to live. When he's with her, he's present, engaged, offering her his best. But when he's not anxiously waiting. He's fully immersed in his own journey, and that energy, it's magnetic. It makes her want to be part of his world, not because he begged, but because she feels the pull of his presence even in his absence. Think of a fire. It needs both fuel and space to burn. If you smother it, it dies. But if you feed it properly and allow room for air, it burns brighter. The same applies to attraction. So, step back. Not as a tactic, but as a reflection of your own self-respect. Focus on your goals. Build your mind, your body, your purpose. Be so immersed in your own path that she feels the absence of your presence. And in that space, she'll find herself wanting to come closer. Number 6. Lead with confidence. Confidence is one of the most attractive qualities in a man, but most people misunderstand what it actually means. It's not about being the loudest guy in the room, constantly proving yourself or faking arrogance. True confidence is quiet but undeniable. It's about having certainty in who you are and what you stand for. And when you embody that, something powerful happens. Women feel drawn to you in a way that goes beyond just surface-level attraction. A woman doesn't just want a man who looks good or says the right things. She wants a man she can feel connected to on a deeper level. She wants to feel safe in his presence, not just physically, but emotionally. That safety isn't about being overly protective or trying to impress her. It comes from something much simpler, yet much more rare. A man who is unwavering in his sense of self. When you carry yourself with inner peace and self-assurance, it signals to her that she can trust you, that you won't be easily shaken by life's chaos or her emotions. Stoicism teaches that a man should be anchored in his own principles, not swayed by external opinions or fleeting circumstances. Imagine a man who doesn't get rattled when things don't go his way, who doesn't chase, beg, or try to control a woman's feelings. Instead, he remains composed, grounded, and at ease with himself. That kind of presence is intoxicating. Women don't want a man who needs their validation. They want a man whose validation comes from within. Think about it. If you hesitate too much, constantly seek reassurance, or struggle to make decisions, a woman will feel that uncertainty, and if she feels that, she won't trust you to lead, and she definitely won't feel inspired to connect with you on a deeper level. But when you move with certainty, when you decide without second-guessing, when you speak without looking for approval, when you carry yourself as if you already know your worth, she will feel it. She will be drawn to it. So the next time you're faced with a decision, own it. If you make plans, be decisive. If you express an opinion, say it with conviction. If she tests you, remain unshaken. Not because you're trying to play games, but because you genuinely know who you are and what you bring to the table. That's what creates deep attraction. That's what makes a woman want to be around you, not just in the moment, but in a way that keeps her thinking about you long after you're gone. So, when was the last time you made a decision without hesitation, without looking for approval? True confidence isn't about trying to impress. It's about knowing your worth and standing firm in it. Women can sense this energy, and when they do, they feel safe, drawn in, and intrigued. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What's one area of your life where you've learned to trust yourself more? Drop it in the comments, or if you're short on time, just leave. Confidence is quiet. Let's keep the conversation going. Number 7. Speak less, mean more. There's an old saying, the more a man talks, the more he reveals his weaknesses. Most men talk too much because they're trying to impress, to prove something, or to fill awkward silences. But here's what separates an average man from one who naturally draws people in, especially women: being intentional with your words. Stoicism teaches restraint, wisdom, and purpose in communication. The ancient Stoics understood that words should serve a function, not just be thrown around carelessly. They believed in the power of silence, of speaking only when necessary, and of ensuring that when they did speak, their words carried weight. The same principle applies to attraction. Think about the most captivating figures in history: Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, even modern leaders who command respect. They weren't the loudest in the room. They weren't desperate to be heard. Instead, they spoke when it mattered, and because of that, people leaned in. When you talk to a woman, you don't need to fill every moment with words. Instead, embrace the pause. If she asks you a question, take a second before responding. Let her see that you're thinking, not just reacting. That simple pause makes your words more deliberate, more intriguing. When you compliment her, make it rare but real. The more often a man throws out generic praise, the less meaning it carries. But when you say something thoughtful, something that feels earned, it sticks. It makes her feel seen in a way that others fail to make her feel. And when she shares something personal, resist the urge to turn the conversation back to yourself. Most men immediately jump in with their own stories, trying to relate, but a man who truly understands connection knows that the most powerful thing he can do is just listen. Let her words breathe. Make her feel heard, not competed with. The more measured you are in your speech, the more value your words hold. And when your words have value, she will naturally want to engage with you on a deeper level. She'll lean in, not just because of what you say, but because of the presence and intentionality behind your silence. Number 8. Build a life that excites you. This is one of the biggest secrets to attraction. And yet, most men get it completely wrong. Here's the reality. A woman will never truly respect or feel drawn to a man whose entire world revolves around her. Why? Because deep down, she doesn't want to be your purpose. She wants to be part of your adventure, not the adventure itself. If she senses that your happiness, your identity, and your direction in life depend entirely on her, she will pull away, not out of malice, but because she instinctively knows that attraction thrives in the space between two whole individuals, not in suffocating dependence. Think about the men who naturally attract women. They don't chase, they don't beg for attention. They don't sit around overanalyzing text messages, wondering if they said the right thing. Instead, they are fully engaged in their own journey. Their lives are rich with purpose, and their presence carries a quiet, unshakable confidence that draws people in effortlessly. Stoicism teaches that true fulfillment comes from within. The moment you rely on external validation, whether from a woman's affection or anyone else's approval, you become vulnerable to disappointment. That's why the men who are most desired are those who have already mastered the art of self-sufficiency. They are deeply invested in their goals, their passions, and their self-development. Not because they are trying to impress anyone, but because they understand that their growth is the foundation of everything else in life. So instead of making a woman the center of your world, build a life so meaningful and engaging that she naturally wants to be part of it. If you have a passion, pursue it fully. Whether it's fitness, business, music, or a creative pursuit, let it consume you in the best way. Push yourself to new limits, challenge your mind, and cultivate a sense of purpose that exists with or without her presence. Picture this. Two men enter a room. One is desperate for attention, scanning the crowd, adjusting his posture, eager for validation. The other is calm, at ease, engaged in something he loves. Which one do you think a woman finds more compelling? The one who needs her attention, or the one whose energy is magnetic because he doesn't need anything at all? When you embody this mindset, something incredible happens. Women don't just find you attractive, they feel drawn to you on a deeper level. They sense your stability, your self-assuredness, your ability to stand firm regardless of circumstances. And in a world where so many men are lost, that kind of presence is rare and irresistible. So, focus on becoming the kind of man who is already complete on his own. Not because you're trying to play games or make her chase you, but because you genuinely love the life you're building. The more grounded and purposeful you become, the more effortlessly women will want to connect with you. Not because you need them, but because your energy is undeniable. Number 9. Touch with intention. Physical touch is one of the most powerful ways to create connection, but only when done at the right time and in the right way. It's not about mindlessly reaching out just to fill space, nor is it about overanalyzing every movement to the point of paralysis. The key is to be intentional and aware. Many men either go overboard, constantly touching and coming off as desperate, or they avoid touch altogether, making the interaction feel cold and impersonal. But connection isn't about extremes, it's about balance. Stoicism teaches that self-control and presence are essential in all aspects of life, including how you engage physically with someone you're drawn to. Touch should never be an impulsive move to seek validation. It should be a natural extension of your confidence and calmness. Think of touch as an unspoken language. When used wisely, it speaks volumes about who you are. A light touch on her lower back as you guide her through a door isn't just about chivalry. It's a quiet display of leadership and attentiveness. A brief touch on her arm while telling a story isn't just a gesture. It subtly deepens the moment and brings warmth to your words. Even something as simple as a slow, deliberate handshake can set the tone for a meaningful connection, making her feel the depth of your presence. But here's the real secret. Touch should feel earned. It's not about entitlement or expectation. It's about the trust you've built. If a woman respects and feels safe with you, she will welcome your presence, and physical touch will happen effortlessly. She needs to feel, on an instinctive level, that your touch isn't seeking approval, but is instead a reflection of your grounded, composed nature. If you're mindful of when and how you touch, you create an experience that lingers in her mind. It's not the quantity of touch that matters. It's the depth behind it. And when a woman feels that depth, she won't just want to be around you, she'll crave a deeper connection with you. Number 10. Handle problems like a man. One of the biggest tests of a man's character is how he reacts under pressure. Women are constantly observing, not just what you say, but how you respond when life throws the unexpected at you. Do you crumble under stress, lash out in frustration, or blame the world when things don't go your way? If so, she'll sense instability. And instability breeds doubt. Doubt about whether she can truly rely on you, about whether you're the kind of man she wants to invest her emotions in. Now, contrast that with the mindset of Stoicism, one rooted in control, resilience, and inner strength. A man who embraces Stoic principles understands that while he can't control everything that happens, he can always control how he reacts. He doesn't let emotions dictate his behavior. He stays composed, grounded, and solution-oriented. And this is magnetic. Imagine you're out with a woman and things don't go as planned. The restaurant loses your reservation. A sudden downpour soaks you both. Someone clumsily spills a drink on your shirt. In that moment, she's watching you, not just to see what happens next, but to feel the energy you project. Do you sigh in frustration, complain about bad luck, and let the mood sour? Or do you smile, shrug it off, and say, "Well, looks like we just got an unexpected adventure tonight"? It's in these moments that deep attraction is formed. When a woman sees that nothing shakes you, that you remain unfazed and adaptable, she feels safe, not just physically, but emotionally. She starts to trust that you're a man who won't crumble when things get tough, who won't make his stress her burden. And that trust, it opens the door to deeper connection. Think about it. How many men try to impress a woman with achievements, flashy gestures, or smooth words? And yet, the ones who truly captivate her are the ones who exude calm confidence, who don't need to prove anything because their presence alone speaks volumes. A man who embodies Stoic resilience is like an anchor in a storm, steady, unwavering, dependable. And that's what draws her in, making her want to connect with you on a level that goes beyond the surface. So the next time life throws a curveball, don't just react. Pause, breathe, and remind yourself. This moment is a test, not just for me, but for how she sees me. And when she sees that nothing shakes you, she'll want to be close to you in a way that no words can manufacture. Number 11. Make her feel safe. At the core of deep connection is emotional security. A woman needs to trust you before she can fully connect with you. Without trust, attraction may spark, but it won't sustain. And that trust isn't just about being honest. It's about how you carry yourself, how you respond to challenges, and whether she feels safe in your presence. If your words and actions don't align, she'll sense the inconsistency. If your emotions swing wildly with every shift in her mood, she'll hesitate to open up. But when you show steadiness, when you remain composed regardless of the situation, she will begin to relax around you. That's where Stoicism comes in. It's not about suppressing emotions, but mastering them. A man who applies Stoic principles doesn't crumble under pressure. He doesn't beg for attention or validation. He remains centered, unmoved by fleeting emotions, and that stability draws her in like a lighthouse in a storm. Imagine this. She's had a stressful day. Maybe she's overwhelmed with work, dealing with personal issues, or just feeling off. If you're reactive, demanding her attention, getting upset because she's distant, she'll pull away even more. But if you're calm, if you listen without trying to fix everything, if you make her feel like she doesn't have to put on a show for you, that's when she'll exhale, let her guard down, and truly feel connected. Respecting her boundaries isn't about being passive. It's about understanding her space while leading with quiet confidence. When you approach life with patience and self-control, She doesn't have to question whether you're the kind of man she can trust. She just knows. And that trust, that emotional safety, is the foundation for a connection that goes beyond the surface. When a woman feels safe with you, physically, emotionally, and mentally, that's when she truly opens up, not just with her words, but with her heart. And there you have it. The secret to creating a deep connection isn't about saying the perfect lines, having the flashiest life, or trying to impress her at every turn. It's about something much simpler, but far more rare. It's about presence, emotional strength, confidence, and the ability to make her feel truly seen and safe in your presence. Think about it. How many men actually take the time to understand these things? Most are too focused on chasing, over-explaining, or reacting emotionally to every situation. But the men who stand out, the ones who naturally draw women in, are those who master themselves first. They know that attraction isn't about desperate effort. It's about the energy you bring, the space you create, and the way you carry yourself through life. If there's one lesson to take away from this video, it's this. Work on yourself, build emotional strength, and let attraction happen as a byproduct of your growth. Because when you become the kind of man who embodies these traits, deep connection won't be something you have to force. It'll be something that happens effortlessly. Now, I want to hear from you. Which one of these points resonated with you the most? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow and brings this message to more people. And don't stop here. Keep learning, keep growing,